Welcome back to the W. My name is Danny Alvarez, and I'm here how to teach you how to edit on After Effects. So usually when you open up After Effects first, these two windows pop up. Your new project. What I like to do is I just hit new project and then I wait for this thing to load. So this is an untitled project right here. So if you go to new composition, this is what really creates the whole project and timeline. Hit new composition and then you're gonna I like to leave it labeled comp 1 because it's not actually like the project name. Project name is up here. So then how long you want your video to be. Let's say we'll go with 30 seconds and for it to start at 0 seconds, no later than that. 29.9 frames per second. Then we're going to hit OK here. Then here you have your timeline where pretty much you can put all the footage you want and then you get to work with editing. Here's all your tools up here, what you're familiar with. Here's where the project is where we are right now. This is the tool, selection tool, grab clips and anything like that. This other tool comes into play later. We got the hand tool, zoom tool, rotation, pan behind, rectangle, and text, which comes into play later. But I'm gonna go grab my footage. So I'm using this footage right here of just a bunch of random things together. So you want to grab the link of a YouTube video and copy and paste it, and you want to find any YouTube downloader, just type it in and just click any one that you see, paste. Want to hit start. Get this right here. I like to get it in video, MP4 highest quality. Make sure it's in video, 1080p highest quality. Convert. You can hit download right here. As you see right here is downloaded here. I'm just gonna show in folder here. It's right here, and I'm going to rename this footage for example. And you want to go back to here, then drag it in. But before I drag it in, if you want to get fancy, you can add a folder for footage to keep everything organized and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna do that for the rest. Music and sound effects and etc. So I'm gonna go to my folder or finder, whichever computer you are on, and I'm just gonna drag it in to the footage section, and that's what we will be using for our footage today. So you usually go right here, drop down tab right here, your footage is here, and you want to drag it right into this empty spaces timeline right here. Want to keep it back here. So here right here is a tool that actually stretches out your timeline. So if you're working with more complicated stuff in edits and you want to zoom in to see what you're working on here, you could do that. I'm gonna keep it for here for right now to see the whole clip. So as you can see, clip's pretty normal, has sound still. So the little trick here, if you hit L twice on the keyboard, it actually shows you the music that's playing, the waveform right here. And if you do not want that music, you can go over here and take out the audio right here in this icon right here, click it, no more music. So that's what I'm actually gonna do, and I'm gonna go back over here and get some music, and I'm gonna drag it to my music tab. So now let me close out of my footage tab, drop down to music, and here we are. I usually like to keep my music up top so it never gets lost. We have music here playing, and it is pretty loud. So if you want, you can go up here to the audio tab and bring that all the way down, and it will sound just as low as that. I think I'm gonna keep it there because that sounds perfect. If you want, right click here, rename music, and right here is your footage just to keep everything organized and simple. Now this is where really After Effects just comes into play here. So if you want to add something cool, make this more look cinematic or kind of like a film, what you could do is you could hit Control O Y, and this will usually be, I like to use this layer, an adjustment layer it's called, for effects usually that I want to add later on. Now to make this look more aesthetically clean, you could hit Control Y, and it pulls up this solid setting right here, and you want to put it to black because we're gonna put it later on to make it look more nicer. And you want to hit OK, and this is what it looks like at first. But if you go to the effects tab over here and you type in CC JAWS, and you add this onto the clip. As you can see, it makes it like this. And that's usually, if you do not have it like this, usually you would start off like this with a default. Something like this. If you start off like that, just change these settings, 80%. And if you get these shapes right here, you want to change the height to 0 and the width to 0. So as you can see here, we already have a film that looks nice and aesthetically pleasing. So now if you want, this is really, if you really want to get fancy with it, then you could go over to the music tab over here. Let's just drag this all the way up real quick. Go to the music tab over here and fade in the audio. So as you can see, it starts right here. So I'm gonna do Command Shift D, which actually cuts the clip right here. So as you can see, it cuts the clip. I backspace to delete it. What did I do? As you can see, it cuts the clip here. And let's say I want to delete this one thing right here. Just click on the singular thing. Make sure it's highlighted over here. Hit delete. Go back over here. Drag it over. Now it starts as soon as the video starts. But let's say you want it to fade in. Now what you would do here, drop down tab right here, this little arrow, audio levels, and you're gonna put a keyframe right there. It automatically puts a keyframe right there, and negative basically means like there's no audio, like the lowest audio. And now you want to put another keyframe, let's say right around 5 seconds where it actually starts to turn up. So now you have the fade in, just like that. And let's say you want to fade in the film too with the audio to make it look nice and match. This is where the footage tab comes in. You want to close out of this tab right here, it closes everything, and you want to hit transform and opacity right here. Pretty much as you can see, makes everything darker, just like that. But let's just put that back up to 100. Same thing you're doing here. You're hitting this little clock right here as it puts a keyframe, and you want to put it on, let's say 25%. Then over here, as soon as it gets to seconds, put it to 100. And now as you can see, the video starts to slowly fade in with the audio, so it just looks nicer and matches. So now if I really want to, then this is where the effects tab comes into play. So effects is usually where you want to put something cool, like all the effects or anything like that. So for example, let me just go grab one. Turbulence displace. Now we drag it here. It's an effect. As you can see, it makes it all like this. Pretty much like a bubbly look. And now let's just say you want to keep it like that. No, that's where you usually will put your effects, all in this part right here. Now you could put it on top of the footage, but it's just more nicer and just more organized. You put it in one tab, and then let's say you just only want one section to be like that. So you want only one section to be like that, all like inverted in, kind of like that, but you want the other sections to be clean and normal. So you cut it right here. This clip right here, you take it out, then it should go just like this to that. So pretty much that's literally how you're doing it. You're just really cutting everything, and then you're adding what you want to these clips. So up here, these tools we're going to select the text tool right here, and if you right click, actually we're going to select the text tool here, and let's say I want something like this example, and I just want something like this example, pretty much right here. So a line here, you can fix up the text. It puts it nice centered right there. Anything you want really with here, all these different things. And you want to go to character right here, and this you can change your font, anything you want to do, and then regular, keep it at that. Text size, that's up to you. Now this is where if you want, you could add stuff like this, stroke over fill, which pretty much adds like an outline towards the thing like that. For my sake, I'm just going to leave it like that. And let's say you want to move the text now across the screen as this footage is going on. So you will want this text tab we created right here. You want to cut it here with Control Shift D. And if you're on a MacBook, I believe it's Command Shift D, something like that. And you want to cut it because you only want it for this clip right here. So right here, you want to go down to the drop tab here, then hit transform and then position. Now then what this does, this creates another keyframe. So I'm going to go up here to my tool, my hand tool, and I'm going to move from over here. I'm going to move it actually out of the frame. So I'm actually going to move it out the frame. And I'm going to move it in and make it swipe across the screen. So for that, move it out right here to the point where you could get to it, like right there. And then I'm going to go position, create a keyframe. Then as soon as we get to about right here at the end of the text, I want to drag it across right here at the end like this. Now this might look very fast, but you could put it at your pace or slow it down. As you can see, example, that's text sliding across the screen. So yeah, really everything's just effects and keyframing and timing of everything. So as you can see, sliding across the screen here, we got the background, we got cinematic film, black bars, we got everything fading in, everything like that. And now let's move on to transitions, really, which is gonna probably finalize this video. Now, or if you just want to be simple, just put simple transitions, and you just want to go to your effects and presets, and you want to go over to transitions down here, and just pick any transition really that you want to put into that clip. It's pretty straightforward. You just apply it onto the effects tab or wherever you want, or even the clip itself, and it just puts the transition together for you. See, let's play the whole thing again. As you can see, you created a short film. Now once you're done with that, you want to go and render this whole thing out, this footage, so you can have it to save or to upload anywhere you want. So you want to go up here to composition, then you want to add to Adobe Media Encoder queue. Wait for that to open up. So as you can see, it popped up here. So you want to go to match source high bit right here, and you want to hit use maximum render quality. Pretty much we're getting the most quality of our video. Scroll down. You want to hit render at maximum depth. We're getting the most quality from that. Here you can mess around with this. You can go 15. I usually just keep it normal at 10. And you want to hit OK. This is where you want to save to. For my case, I'm going to have it save. I'm going to have this save right here. Then you want to hit this start queue right here, this green check pretty much. And as soon as you do that, it should start to render your video. Yeah, that's really how you use After Effects. It's all really takes skill with just keyframes and stuff like that, and just movement and shortcuts. Really, that's all it is. And now you know how to edit on After Effects. So back to you on the anchor desk.